Today we look at 15 teens you won't believe actually exist.
Number 15.
Middle school can be a rough world. For those like Zara Hartshorn who suffer from lipodystrophy, it's an absolute nightmare. Lipodystrophy is an extremely rare condition, only 30 known cases in the UK, that causes fat cells to dissolve below tissue. As a result, the skin sags, giving 16-year-old Zara the face of an old woman. I've been called a granny and a monkey all my life, says Zara, who admits she spent a good number of school days crying in the toilet. But much like a massage, her story has a happy ending. After being denied repeatedly for corrective surgery by the NHS, a US surgeon offered to give her a life-changing procedure for free. Valued at £50,000, the face and neck lift has improved her future exponentially. The surgery was so successful that Zara's mother, who also suffers from the same condition, accepted the same generous offer 2 years later.
Number 14.
I know a lot of people, myself included, who get home from a long day and want to sleep for days. For 19-year-old Georgia Green, that dream is a reality. Careful what you wish for, she would undoubtedly warn. Georgia first started experiencing her episodes at age 15. When she goes under, she'll sleep for 12 to 18 hours a day. The other hours, she meanders in a sleepwalk state, during which she's only able to binge eat and use the restroom. The disorder is known as Klein-Levin syndrome, and it generally lasts until the victim is in their 30s. Because of the frequency of her episodes, Georgia had to drop out of school, but she strives to live a normal life. She's currently studying for a Bachelor's of Disability and has miraculously managed to hold down a job as a sales assistant.
Number 13.
For 99.9% of people, water is the elixir of life. For Utah teen Alexandra Allen, it's something to be avoided at all costs. She had her first severe reaction at age 12 after swimming in a hotel pool caused her to break out in hives. Why only at age 12? The condition often doesn't begin until after puberty, and now it's only getting worse. She has what is known as aquagenic urticaria, and it is real, although there are less than 100 known cases worldwide. It's technically not an allergy, but rather a skin disease caused by oils in her skin reacting to water. Right now, she can only shower once a week, which should be fine considering she also has to avoid humid climates and sweating. And as I'm sure you're wondering, yes, she can drink water, although there is another older woman in England with the same condition who can now only drink Diet Coke. Despite her body being composed mostly of her natural enemy, Alexandra stays positive. She says, "At least I'm not allergic to dogs."
Number 12.
When Ben Underwood was 3, cancer took away his sight. Rather than wallow, rather than give in, he developed his own sonar system to see. By clicking his tongue, Ben measured the returning sound waves to determine the geography around him. The technique is known as echolocation. It's the same tactic that bats use to fly at night and catch their prey. Ben's sonar became incredibly precise. He could determine shapes such as a trash can, tell the distance someone was from him, even play foosball. Unfortunately, Ben's life was claimed at 16 by the same cancer that took his sight, but his faith, desire, and spirit live on in those that he inspired.
Number 11.
Isabella Leclerc doesn't traditionally look like the girls from the magazines, but that didn't stop her from getting a full bikini photo spread. Born with Parkes-Weber's syndrome, Isabella's right leg is swollen to 3 times its normal size. So what? She's still beautiful. Her blog, The Lymphy Life, has struck a chord with body-positive people everywhere. She says, "I don't fit in skinny jeans or fancy shoes, so I have to find alternatives, but I always end up still feeling good about my body."
Number 10.
Jasprit Singh Kalra is so flexible, he can bend backwards until his forehead touches his butt. I know there's a joke there, but I'm too impressed to make it. He can rotate his head 180 degrees and twist his arms in a full 360-degree circle. His dream is to become the #1 contortionist in the world. Jasprit only discovered this miraculous skill when he started doing yoga at 11 years old. Now, 15, he has plenty of years to overtake his rubber rival, Daniel Browning Smith, for the title of the world's most flexible man.
Number 9.
When Ellen Litzau was in middle school, her classmates used to call her Fat Whale. When she lost weight from swim team in high school, she noticed she became more popular. This idea obsessed into a sickness in her head. By the time she was 17, she was hospitalized after refusing to eat or drink water for an entire week. Doctors believed she was hours away from death. 77-pound Ellen left the hospital with a different mentality, something near-death experiences tend to give people. Through diligence, she is now 19 and a healthy weight. What's most impressive, she gained it all on a vegan diet.
Number 8.
If you thought puberty was hard, imagine a team of doctors trying to jumpstart your puberty to hypothetically slow a growing disease that only you have. Awkward. But Brendan Adams is a completely normal kid. He goes to school, is nice, caring. His 12th chromosomes just happen to mismatch, causing an overload of a critical growth gene. By the time he was 12, Brendan was already 7 feet tall. Luckily, attempting to slow his growth by inducing hormones seems to have worked. Brendan is now 20 years old and has been 7'8" for 3 years without growing.
Number 7.
Finding clothes that fit me is extremely difficult, understates 19-year-old Hannah Kritzek, who is 3 foot 3 inches tall. She suffers from primordial dwarfism, a rare condition only 100 people in the world share with her. Like any other teen, she's looking for love. I'd like to get married and have my own family. I would like to have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, she says. Her ideal man would have a mohawk, what about dreadlocks, and protect her. But Hannah's feisty on her own. Her true passion is dance. Despite developing scoliosis as a child, you can't take her off the dance floor. Hip-hop makes me feel strong, and ballet calms me down, she says.
Number 6.
Nihal Bitla managed to battle a terrible disease, inspire his heroes, and raise medical awareness for future generations, all before he passed away at the tender age of 15. He had been living with progeria, a disease which ages the body at 8 times the normal rate. Most children diagnosed do not live past 14. During his life, Nihal launched several social media campaigns, most recently, Hats On for Progeria. After spotting Nihal on a Humans of Bombay Facebook post, Bollywood legend Amir Khan sought him out. Amir was Nihal's favorite actor. Nihal credits Amir's movie Like Stars on Earth, in which a teacher takes in a student with learning disabilities, as a huge source of inspiration for continuing to fight through on his own. Nihal said he never felt like he had a disease, but rather a gift from God.
Number 5.
Jazz Jennings became a YouTube sensation, spokesmodel, television star, foundation co-founder, and changed genders all before age 15. She first reached notoriety when she appeared on 2020 as a 6-year-old with gender dysphoria. Currently, her family and the countless supporters she inspired are waiting as she sleeps in a hospital bed. She elected to have T-blocker replacement surgery, which will prevent her from going through male puberty. The doctor is optimistic. He was able to recover a broken implant. Now Jazz only has to recover without infection.
Number 4.
19-year-old Malachi Love Robinson is currently in court for allegedly impersonating a doctor. According to reports, Malachi was accused of stealing almost $35,000 in credit cards and checks from Anita Morrison, 86, after allegedly visiting her home to treat her for severe stomach pain. The evidence is building, especially considering he's already been arrested for performing an exam on an undercover officer, and he was allegedly roaming the halls of St. Mary's Medical Center dressed as a doctor. Malachi maintains that he never claimed he was a medical doctor. Instead, he has a doctorate from Online Universal Life Church Seminary, which can be had for $29.95 and allows you to use doctor in front of your name. He says that the situation has been blown out of proportion and his goal was to help people. His case is ongoing currently, and he was offered a plea deal that would entail 3 years in prison, but rather than accepting or rejecting, he's asked for a new attorney.
Number 3.
Do you even lift, bro? Oh, yes, you do. 18-year-old Julia Vinn has the green eyes of a Disney princess, the pouty lips of Kim Kardashian, and the world record deadlift of 364 pounds. She began going to the gym at 15 when she grew tired of everyone telling her she looked like a doll. Now everyone calls her Muscle Barbie. She doesn't mind her new nickname so much. In 2014, she entered the World Powerlifting Championships in Moscow. She won the competition, picking up world records in the squat, bench press, and deadlift along the way. For me, there is no limit. I want to become as muscly as possible, she says. Lift on, Muscle Barbie.
Number 2.
At age 16, Alexei Romanov is already a renowned pianist in his home country of Russia. He has performed with the world-class La Primavera Chamber Orchestra and thereafter been invited to attend classes at the Founders Music School in Kazan. He also appeared on the nationally televised program, Guests of Tomorrow. If all that doesn't already blow your socks off, consider the following. He only started playing 2 years ago. Oh, and he was born without fingers. Furthermore, he has only one leg, was abandoned by his parents for his disabilities, and was raised in an orphanage. If this was a Dickens novel, I'd throw it across the room at this point. But let's listen to him play. Unbelievable. He was adopted 3 years ago. His parents noticed his attention to art and bought him his first piano. Beyond them, he credits his 2 friends for his success, who taught him how to read notes. And now for the number 1 teen you won't believe exists. But first, I want to give a shout out to those who answered my last video's question. Question for you. What do you think about buff girls?
Number 1.
Marnie Harvey is a perfectly healthy teenager. Her blood tests are clear, there are no tumors in her, there's nothing in her body out of the ordinary as far as doctors can tell. So it drives everyone involved absolutely nuts that she bleeds from her eyes and ears 3 times a day. I never know when it's going to happen, and I don't like scaring people, says Marnie. She wants to become a nurse someday and get married. All of that is on hold right now while doctors try and solve the mystery girl.